AI is taking the world by storm. Apparently kids nowadays don't even do homework, they just use ChatGPT, or so I've heard. But since AI is so good at writing essays and doing homework, surely it can settle the debate to what is the best money-making method in the game. A debate that splits families and divides the world. Let's see if AI can solve our money-making issues. So let's ask ChatGPT, what is the best money-making method in Hypixel Skyblock? Let's see. It doesn't give us the best, but it gives us 5 suggestions. And our first suggestion involves farming. Farming and selling crops can be a profitable venture. The most profitable crops include pumpkins, melons, carrots and potatoes. Not particularly true anymore, because I know worts are probably the most profitable at the moment. But at the same time, I appreciate the effort. Now we can use our fermental set with rancher boots. We can use our level 100 elephant. We can also use our lotus equipment. And we're also going to use our netherwarts hoe. Now I believe our most optimal speed for netherwarts is it? I seem to remember it being around 95. I think that's about right. I think it might be slightly wrong, but it's about right. And let's see how ChatGPT does. Let's see how much money we can make. So I grinded some warts for 5 minutes exactly, and we're just about to see how much we made. So we've made 580k. If we times that by 12, we get 6,960,000, so just shy of 7 mil. Which in all honesty isn't that bad. We're going to get around about 7 million an hour. If we get a bit luckier, we might get a fermento. We might make even more. My farming fortune is just shy of 800, which isn't exactly amazing, so we could make more from this. ChatGPT is not a bad method. Farming's good at the moment. We all know that. Before we go any further, you should subscribe to the channel. Become part of the 24%. Also, you should join the Discord server. It's linked in the description of every single video. Number 2, grinding. Players can grind and then sell rare items such as end pearls, zombie eyes, and gas tears. Zombie eyes. Now this information is slightly off, but absolutely, grinding rare items such as RNG drops like warden hearts, or overflux capacitors, or even judgment cores can be incredibly profitable. Even just grinding zealots for summoning eyes can make you a lot of coins when you're early game. Anyway, moving on. How about fishing? Fishing can be a lucrative business with some enchanted books and items selling for high prices. However true this may be, I refuse to fish. Sorry to the fishermen, I'm going to have to fish eventually. I'm not going to do it now. How about the auction house? Buying and reselling items on the auction house can be a great way to make profit, but it requires some knowledge of the market. Now this is more of my speed. Auction house flipping can be ridiculously good if you know what to look out for. In the past I've flipped to 2 Hyperions, a Terminator, and also a space helmet. Nowadays auction house flipping is definitely still possible, but it's getting harder and harder to do. You see, AH flipping mods and bots that are set up are making it very difficult to get good flips at least. However, with good market knowledge, you can definitely get some good flips on pieces of armor, also on different weapons, and on other miscellaneous items. Items moving from the AH to the bazaar left, right and centre is not exactly helping AH flipping's cause. Still possible though, and you can still make a lot of coins if you give a bit of dedication. Number 5, dungeons. Completing dungeons can give players with rewards that can be sold for profit. You really do make a valid point. Into the floor 6 we go. Honestly, party finder has got to be the worst thing I've ever seen. Honestly, someone was about to get the last secret, and someone just went in. So we now have, well, Badline thinks it's 299. According to the game, it's 298. Amazing. Oh, but we actually got the S+. So neither the game or Badline was right. Anyway, 59k profit is. But in seriousness, the amount of good drops you can actually get from dungeons is pretty cracked. You get a recon from virtually every floor, and it's like 6 or 7 mil profit at the moment. You can get a Shadow Fury, you can get a Shadow Assassin chestplate, get a Giant Sword, a Precursor's Eye, a Necron Sandal, any of the scrolls, which are 500 mil each. You could get Master Stars, you can get a Dark Claymore, but I've never done an M7 unfortunately. So regardless of us only getting Rejuvenate, Catacombs is still a definite viable money making method, especially with the introduction of the RNG meter. Okay, so to try and get some more results, I've basically just worded the same thing in different ways, basically money making methods in Skyblock, and eventually kind of give us something kind of different. It suggests us to do Slayer quests, which is basically the same as the last one, which was just RNG drops. Now this time, it suggested bazaar flipping. So bazaar flipping, the bazaar is a marketplace in Hypixel Skyblock where you can buy and sell items. Bazaar flipping involves buying low priced items in bulk, selling them for a higher price when the demand for them for those items increase, and so on. And it's true, bazaar flipping can make you a lot of coins. Just probably not the Dazzle bazaar flips. It depends how many coins you really want to make. You see, I would say that Bazaar flips are probably categorized into two different sections. You've got your quick flips and then you've got your long-term flips, which are more of investments. For instance, quick flips would involve things like farming crops. Sometimes the price, the sell price and the buy price differ so much that you can get a decent quick flip in on them. Same goes for a lot of mining materials. At the moment, pretty much the whole of Skyblock is experiencing a ton of inflation. Recombobulators are 13 mil. All scrolls are basically 500 mil. I mean, a couple of days ago, you couldn't even insta-buy any of these books. You'd have to put an offer up, which is insane. You see, the cap for these items are 500 million, and when they go above 500 million, you can't list them for any higher. Like, you can't put an offer up to sell them for any higher than 500 mil. So when it gets to that point, it just says N/A. In other means, you just can't insta-buy them. People want more coins than the Bazaar will allow. It's a bit of a risk, but for instance, if you did put a sell offer in for them at that point, you could then sell them via trade menus because people can't buy them instantly off the Bazaar. You could profit a decent amount of coins, but it's a risk considering people get impatient and will list them for less. Honestly, it's kind of smart from Hypixel because they're essentially price capping the item, which is probably a good thing. I mean, if Implosion and Wither Shield and Shadow Warp continue to rise over 500 million coins, even more of an issue. I mean, at the moment, I'd say, I mean, I'm not the greatest example because I need to invest these coins that I have, but there's no point in sitting on coins. You should invest. And to be honest, Bazaar flipping is not a bad idea at the moment, especially long-term investments. Look at the prices of XP bottles. That is insane. It's mostly to do with the Rift update, but that's crazy. At the moment, if you're able to put an offer in for a recon, potentially resell it for about 400k profit, which is amazing. All I would say is because of the influx of items now on the AH, Bazaar flipping is substantially more viable. There's way more choice, and there's potential to make a ridiculous amount of coins. I've come to a conclusion. In terms of money-making methods, you could go to ChatGPT. Although, I'd probably just stick to leaving it to doing essays and homework, you know. Not the greatest advice. Do any skill and you'll make coins at the end of the day. Tell me what you think. Every time I've used ChatGPT for Skyblock, number one, it's always been ironically in for a video, and number two, it's never been very good. After all, it is basically just Google, but glorified. That's the bottom line. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.